Jewish mystical legends and Islamic lore present a far more rich, imaginative, and descriptive portrait of the creation of humanity, our ancestral parents, Adam and Eve, than the, biblical narrative from the book of Genesis, in my opinion, anyway. Now, in Jewish legend, God, the creator of all things, consulted with the angels beforehand, and the ministering angels divided into groups and argued both sides of the issue, both pro and con. The angelic debate focused on the dualistic nature of humanity. For example, some angels felt that human beings would be generous and benevolent, while others believed that we would constantly wage war and kill each other. God, in spite of this heated angelic debate and protest, hurls the angel of truth from heaven down to earth. Humanity's knowledge, says God to the angelic beings, will one day excel yours, and you will witness his wisdom. The dust from which humanity was created was gathered from various parts of the earth, of course, being the mother of humanity. Dust from Babylon, earth from Israel, clay from various different lands, were all employed by God to fashion the head, body, and limbs of Adam. Dust from all corners of the earth, red, black, white, and yellow dust. The angel whose mission it was to bring the dust of creation took a handful from the place where the holy temple was one day to stand, and took some more earth from other holy sacred sites. God then mixed the dust with drops from all the waters of the world. The Creator then fashioned the blood from the red dust, the entrails from the black dust, the bones from the white dust, and the body from the yellow dust. The dust of the body will never be taken from God, and when our hour comes to depart from this world, the dust will return to God. Now, in Muslim legend, Allah prepared the slime of man's creation from a very long continuance of rain. Allah sends the angel Gabriel down to earth and commands him to gather a handful of dust from each of the earth's 7 layers in order to form man from the dust extracted basically from the entrails of the earth. The earth, which is female, is amazed at such a proposition, and she tells the angel Gabriel that one day this creature formed from her bosom will disobey the commands of God and rebel against him and draw down the curse of the Creator upon him. Gabriel quickly returns to heaven and reports the fears of Mother Earth. God, nevertheless, resolves to execute his design. So Allah dispatches Michael with the same commission as Gabriel. But Michael is also moved by Mother Earth's pleas and returns to God empty-handed and reports to Allah that Mother Earth's excuses and her absolute refusal to contribute. Michael tells God that Mother Earth is no way going to contribute to the formation of humanity. The Creator God then sends the angel Azrael to fetch a little mud, but once more Mother Earth refuses to cooperate. Azrael does not respect the wishes of Mother Earth, for he must obey the command of God. So the angel violently tears out 7 handfuls of dust from 7 different beds of earth. Azrael then carries these 7 handfuls away to a place somewhere in Arabia. God, Allah, then rewards Azrael with the separation of the souls from the bodies of human beings, and Azrael becomes the angel of death. The creation of the first man then takes place. It takes place slowly and by degrees. Adam's final form in this legend, his stature is immense, with Adam's head reaching the sky. The angels then tremble and flee before Adam. Then God places his hand upon the head of Adam and reduces him by 100 cubits. Now, a cubit, well, we don't know the exact measurement of a cubit, but it's basically thought to be from the hand to the elbow. So that's what a cubit is. So he reduces Adam by 1,000 cubits. Now, Adam's body is, well, beautiful, resplendent, and his soul is different than other human beings. The soul of Adam brings awe and wonder into the hearts of all living beings. both terrestrial and celestial alike. The impression is so dramatic and profound that some of the angels are ready to worship Adam. Adam's face shines even brighter than the sun, for he has been adorned with the, divine image of God the Creator. So God decides to cast Adam into a deep sleep so that the ministering angels realize that Adam is mortal and helpless. So the angels no longer fear or worship Adam. Now, in other Muslim legends, while Adam is asleep, God, Allah, reduces him to much smaller proportions and cuts off great slices of Adam's flesh. Adam's first act in this legend is to praise God and to acknowledge his Creator as the Lord of the world and the Master of the universe. Now, in other Muslim traditions, Adam's body is still and lifeless, stretched out on the ground, and the object of amazement and admiration to the ministering angels. Adam's body remains lifeless for 40 years in this legend. Adam's soul was in fact created 1,000 years before his body, and his spirit refuses to leave heaven. Heaven and enter a human or mortal body. Only the divine music in this legend, played by the angel Gabriel, lures Adam's reluctant soul down to earth. And in a moment of ecstasy, Gabriel entices Adam to enter a body of flesh and bone. The soul's union with the body was therefore involuntary. The soul will also leave the body reluctantly. Adam then receives the breath of life blown into his nostrils by God. God, Allah, then calls the ministering angels and commands them to bow down before Adam, to bow down before man, which has been created in the divine image. Now, an angel, Israfil, is the first angel to obey God and receives a reward, the custody of the book of fate. In Jewish legend, Adam walked about in the Garden of Eden at his own leisure, just like one of the ministering angels. God realizes that it is not good for man to be alone, and creates for Adam a helpmate and wife, Eve. Mother Earth is not thrilled or happy with God's decision, and she quakes, shakes, and trembles her disapproval. Mother Earth cries before the Creator God that she will be unable to provide for the whole of humanity. She will be unable to feed the coming multitudes that will spring up from the sexual union of Adam and Eve. God replies that we shall feed them together, and he makes a covenant with Mother Earth to always assist her with rain, watering her, so that she will yield fruit, plants, and animals to feed the multitudes of humanity. Now, according to Jewish mythology, Eve is actually Adam's third wife. This is a little-known fact. The first wife being Lilith, which is relatively well-known. But the second wife, known as She Who Has No Name, was actually created in front of Adam. Adam, of course, witnesses the act of creation and goes insane. God then destroys this second wife, She Who Has No Name, and erases it, basically blanks out Adam's memory. God then takes pity on Adam and causes him to sleep a deep sleep so that his mind will not snap and that his body will feel no pain. God then takes the 13th rib of man and flesh from his heart and fashions Eve and places her before Adam while he still slumbers. Eve has not merely been created for continuing the species, but woman also enjoys a higher level of moral dignity. For a man alone, according to the legend, is without happiness, joy, blessings, and peace. A man needs a woman to be spiritually happy and to find a sense of spiritual balance. Adam then awakes and sees Eve before him, and his wonder and delight knows no bounds, for Eve has been blessed by the Eternal One. God then makes 10 wedding canopies for Adam and Eve, all fashioned out of gold, pearls, and precious jewels. as a type of special honor to them. The angels then play heavenly music, sing and play on harps, cymbals, and cithers. The entire host of heaven descend into the Garden of Eden, while the sun and moon dance in their honor. Muslim legends from such Arab commentators as Tabari and Musudi have some parallels to the Jewish tales. Tabari relates that Adam was roaming through paradise, eating from the fruit of the trees, and suddenly falls asleep. When he opens his eyes, Adam sees Eve before him. "I am thy wife," says Eve, and tells Adam that God has created me out of thee and for thee. In another Muslim version, Adam is rewarded by God for his, preaching to the ministering angels, and receives a bunch of grapes, which he quickly consumes, causing him to fall asleep. Now, while Adam sleeps, God creates Eve and places her beside Adam. She resembles him in this legend, but is far more beautiful. Her features are far more delicate. Her eyes are softer, her form more slender, her voice much sweeter, and her hair longer. Her hair is divided into 700 magnificent locks. Now, while asleep, Adam has in fact been dreaming that he has been given a wife. So God, Allah, then decides to make Adam's dream come true, decides to make his dream into a reality. Eve, which is also known as Hava, which means woman, then asks God's permission to love Adam, for she has been created to be Adam's wife and helpmate. Adam, man, is told by God that he must always treat Eve with love, kindness, dignity, and respect. Thereupon, Ridwan, the Muslim equivalent of the angel Uriel, who is the gatekeeper of the Garden of Paradise, brings Adam a winged horse called Mimun, and a light-footed she-camel for Eve. Then he, helped by the angel Gabriel, Adam and Eve mount these magical holy animals and are led into paradise and greeted by the angels. "Hail, father and mother of Muhammad," shout the angels to Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve are then placed upon a throne in a green silk tent that is supported on gold pillars. The couple is then bathed in one of the rivers of paradise and brought into the presence of God. Allah then bids them to live happily in paradise, which he has prepared for them as their home. These Jewish and Muslim legends, as I mentioned, are, in my opinion, far more beautiful and interesting than the biblical narrative of the creation found within the book of Genesis. All right, with that thought, we're going to take another musical break. When we return, we will present the epic conclusion to God Rock Radio's amazing Mind movie, the Mind movie on the angelic rebellion. As Satan's spiteful revenge against God bears fruit, causing the fall of humanity. He will slip past the gates of Eden, enter the body of a serpent, seduce Eve, and the world will lose its innocence forever. But first, some more music. This is contemporary Christian recording artist Josh Garrels with a beautiful folk-infused tune called The Creation Song. Stay with us. This is God Rock Radio.